business, ignorance simply means not learning your skills, not acquiring skills, not being exposed to the market you are in, and ignoring advices coming from your mentors or your colleagues or what have you. Many entrepreneurs fail not because they are weak, no, not because of weakness. It's simply because they fail to.
It may cost you money, it may cost you opportunity even. Let's take for instance, you may spend years doing the wrong thing. For example, if you don't understand money management, you may earn a lot but still go broke. Imagine that. Say you don't understand how to communicate, you lose clients and partners.
It's become very dangerous and they can stay stuck. No growth anymore. Successful people, successful entrepreneurs, they invest their life in reading books, accepting correction, accepting mistakes, and learning from other successful people, mentors, for example. Meanwhile, the ignorant people don't.
And most importantly, so you don't learn from them, you are missing a big opportunity, right? So try your best to learn from them. So when you learn from them, you can see the big changes in your life, right? So the next thing is I would like to talk about the step number 3. This is investing on skills. Many people
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 1% Club podcast. Today, we are discussing a very powerful topic, the cause of ignorance in entrepreneurship. Because many people start businesses with big dreams, but they fail because they ignore important knowledge. Ignorance is not just not knowing, but it's choosing not to learn. And we have today 4 amazing speakers, 4 amazing entrepreneurs that will give us their insight on the topic. Okay, so we have here Mr. Basha, Miss Mary Jane, Miss Frida, and Miss Lizzie. Right now, I'll start my interaction to give a hint to the audience about deeply the topic. Okay, I'll start with Miss Mary Jane. Miss Mary Jane, I want you to tell our audience what ignorance is actually.
All right. Thank you so much for this amazing topic, Mr. Ayejo. Right. So as you said, what is ignorance? So ignorance simply means the lack of knowledge, information, or awareness about something. It is not the lack of intelligence. It's simply the lack of awareness. The greatest cost in entrepreneurship is not failure. It's not the lack of capital. It's simply the price we pay for remaining ignorant. That is why in business, ignorance simply means not learning your skills, not acquiring skills, not being exposed to the market you are in, and ignoring advices coming from your mentors or your colleagues or what have you. Many entrepreneurs fail not because they are weak, no, not because of weakness. It's simply because they fail to educate themselves. You see why knowledge is very expensive. Ignorance in business is very, very expensive, rather. Ignorance is more expensive. But then when we talk about knowledge, it is the most profitable investment one can ever venture into. That is why, for example, someone can start a business today without even understanding the market and then blame it on luck. You can imagine that. They blame it on luck. And that is the truth can always be that what you fail to learn in entrepreneurship will always come back to you as a problem you pay for, right? And that's why I always say that success simply needs knowledge plus action. Because success, when you don't expose yourself to learning, you pay the price later.
All right, exposure therapy, right? So, have you blamed before? Because you talked about blaming. Have you blamed before? Have you done that mistake before? Because you usually learn from mistake, right? So have you blamed before?
Yeah, I have. Really, I had my own fair share. I will give an illustration. An account I needed to balance, but because I failed to check the details, I was ignorant about the details. I was just so quick to take actions without actually exposing myself to the learning part. And then I made a lot of mistakes that cost, even that I had to pay for it 2 times of what that should have been, and that is why I would always say that the cost of ignorance is greater than the cost of learning. The cost of ignorance, I repeat, is always greater than the cost of learning.
Wow. Amazing. That's an amazing experience for our audience to see in practice. And I will now turn myself to Miss Lizzie, okay? And I would like you to tell the audience, what is the real cost of ignorance? What can it really cost us?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayejo. That is a great point you're making right there. Ignorance costs you a lot, actually. Now let's talk about the real cost of ignorance. Well, ignorance may cost you time, it may cost you money, it may cost you opportunity even. Let's take for instance, you may spend years doing the wrong thing. For example, if you don't understand money management, you may earn a lot but still go broke. Imagine that. Say you don't understand how to communicate, you lose clients and partners along the way. So to say the truth, ignorance is big, is very, very expensive. Learning may feel hard in the moment, but trust me, not learning is even harder. So I would choose learning as opposed to ignorance. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayejo.
Amazing. That's amazing. And do you also have an experience where it really costs you? For example, something like money.
Yes, I would give a simple example. I started a business like some 5 years ago. It was really doing well. I was progressing. I was very comfortable with what I was making. And I did not take time to invest in gaining more insight about that business and understanding my market. And guess what? Some people came and surpassed me and took over my business. I had a lot of competition that I wasn't making. And now I even quit the business. I wasn't making as I used to make. Why? I did not spend time to understand my market. I did not spend time to learn and understand my competition and do well in that business. So ignorance is very, very expensive, trust me.
Okay. That's really a good sharing, a good experience. And thank you for sharing that with us. Now, another thing that is very important in that aspect of ignorance is growth, right? And for that, I would like to hear from one amazing woman, Miss Frida. I would like you to tell our audience, how can ignorance prevent us from growing?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayejo, for the opportunity. When people start thinking that they know everything, it became very dangerous and they can stay stuck. No growth anymore. Successful people, successful entrepreneurs, they invest their life in reading books, accepting correction, accepting mistakes, and learning from other successful people, mentors, for example. Meanwhile, the ignorant people don't accept all those things. They don't read books, they don't invest in their lives, they don't accept correction, they don't accept any mistake. They think they know everything already. And that is the point, they stay stuck. As someone, if he wants to build a building, the bigger he wants it, the higher he wants it, the stronger he wants it, the more material you have to bring in. So that is the point. So if you don't learn, you stay stuck, you don't grow. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. And that reminds me that I've learned before that real leaders, they are open to listen to others. They are not stuck in one position. And that, I think, that is not being ignorant, that is actually choosing to learn. Amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us. And now I'll go to one of our greatest men here, Mr. Basha. to hear from you on how we can overcome, because yes, we talked about the problems related to ignorance and everything. Now, how can we overcome it?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ejo, this opportunity. So how do we fix this, right? So I can say, like, we spoke about ignorance, we spoke about cost, right? So now the real question is, how do we overcome it, right? So the good news is, it is actually simple, very simple, but you need a discipline, right? So let me share some practical steps you can start today, right? So the first, step number 1, learn daily. So you don't need 5 to 6 hours of time to learn something every day, right? So you just need 30 minutes every day. It is enough for you. And you can use this 30 minutes watching videos, okay, from successful people, reading, a few pages of the great books, and listening podcast, the great people, what they discuss about this ignorance of the cost, right? And most importantly, the consistency is the more important than the quality. I believe always this, right? And simple learning daily give you the big results over time. And the step number 2, follow successful people. Success leave clues. Success give you great examples, right? So following who already in a path of successful, or who already successful in this journey, okay, just follow them. And most importantly, so try to act like them, how they think, how they speak, how they make decisions, okay? So when you follow them, so you definitely observe a lot of things, right? And today, thank God, we have a great opportunity, that is our social media. So you can able to access great entrepreneurs, okay, for free. So they are providing their knowledge, they're providing their wisdom, okay, in social media platforms, YouTube, many ways, right? Understand? So you can freely access those materials. And most importantly, so you don't learn from them, you are missing a big opportunity, right? So try your best to learn from them. So when you learn from them, you can see the big changes in your life, right? So the next thing is, I would like to talk about the step number 3. This is investing on skills. Many people spending on the money for entertainment, for other things, right? But they're hesitating to invest money on learning, right? So this is the biggest mistake most of the people did. So because of when you learn skills, okay, so most of the people feel like, maybe I couldn't able to get anything from the learnings or skills, right? No, that is the biggest mistake most of the people they made in their life. Because somebody take money from you, but nobody cannot take the skills and knowledge you have, right? So focusing on the skills in the area of communication, in the area of sales, marketing, and moreover the leadership, right? So these are the skills can change your life, right? Understand? And remember, skills make you more money, right? Skills you make you better person, right? So focusing on moreover on skills. The next thing is the step number 4, take action and moreover learn from your own mistake. This is very important. So you can learn from all day, but you don't take any action. You don't take any actions, nothing will change. So you will make mistake. That's okay, but don't afraid of failure. Don't afraid of making mistakes, okay? So every mistake is a lesson for you. Every lesson makes you better, right? So try your best to make mistake, but learn from mistake. That is the most important thing. And I can definitely tell you the final thing, that is, as I already mentioned. So today, the world, we are accessing the information everywhere. So you can able to get the information from the successful people from YouTube channels, Google, books, online courses, okay? So we are living in the best time to learn, right? So honestly, there is no excuse. Okay, when you don't have excuse, definitely you can able to learn from the great people. And if you someone still ignorant today, so it's not because of they cannot learn, it's because of their choose not to learn, right? And the choice is very dangerous. Okay, so try your best to choose, okay, to learn from the successful people, understand? And your future is not decided by luck, it is decided by the what you learn and what you apply. So if you choose to learn, you grow. You choose to ignore, you struggle. So make a decision today. Like, I will learn, I will improve, I will grow. Because at the end of the day, your success depending on willingness to learn, right? So learn today, grow more. Definitely you can, ignore this unnecessary cost, right? In any field, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Aja.
Wow, amazing. That was powerful. That was deep. And the first step that you talked about, which is learn few things. I'm a French speaker basically, but I was able to acquire the amount of knowledge that I have now in English because every day for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I was learning something new. So a very accurate point that you put there. And for you, how the power of association really help you with ignorance?
Yes, thank you so much for that question, Mr. Ajo. So I remember this beautiful quote the great people mentioned. That is, you are the average of the 5 people the most of the time you spend. For example, you spend 5 employees, definitely you are the 6th employee. If you spend 5 millionaires, definitely you are a 6th millionaire. If you spend 5 beggars, definitely you are a 6th beggar, right? So choose the great people, choose what the people can able to mentoring you and give you the knowledge in order to you need to grow in different aspects in your life, right? So that is my greatest advice I can give.
Amazing. And we had a very great talk. You guys brought in very amazing insight. Now I want to hear final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts from each of you. And I'll start with Miss Mary Jane. What is your final thought on this topic, ignorance?
All right. Thank you once again for the opportunity. I will just end my thoughts by this quote, my favorite quote from Brian Tracy, and which states that commit yourself to a lifelong learning. One of the most valuable assets you can ever have is your mind and what you put in it. And this is the minimal requirement you can ever find in any field you may find yourself. So every successful person, every successful entrepreneur is simply someone who refuses to be ignorant. Okay, he refuses to remain ignorant. So if you want to succeed today, if you want the sky to be your limit, open yourself up to learn. Don't say it is the master plan why I am where I am today. No, it is you who have stepped, because everything has been designed by the master plan himself, right? And then every decisions we take, every step we take leads us to that master plan. So if you don't plan, if you don't learn, if you don't open up yourself, you remain stuck. Don't blame it on the master plan. Okay, that's what I would say today. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that amazing quote with us. And Mr. Basha, for you, what are your final thoughts?
So keep learning, keep pushing. Definitely you grow, and no more excuses.
Amazing. No more excuses. Wow. So Miss Frida, final thoughts on this subject?
Yes, my final thought is don't stop learning. The day you stop learning, you start dying. Yes. Don't be open to new skills and new knowledge. Thank you.
Amazing. And last but not least, Miss Lizzie, final thoughts on this?
My few final thoughts are that ignorance isn't free in business, especially. It is not free. It charges interest. It steals opportunities and leaves you paying for the mistakes twice. So don't stop learning. Invest in learning. Thank you.
Amazing. And to wrap it up a little bit, we learn a lot. Okay? We learn a lot. To summarize, we learned that ignorance is very dangerous in business. It costs us time, money, and growth. And out of all those four speakers talk about, we can retain that learning is actually the key. So guys, learn, never stop learning, never keep going, keep pushing, keep acquiring knowledge, and you will ultimately grow and you will stop bearing the cost of ignorance. So thank you very much for following us, and see you next time for our podcast.